Do you want to double the revenue for your e-commerce brand? After 10 years and working with dozens of companies and helping them double or even triple their revenue with email marketing, I'm finally releasing the e-commerce email playbook, which is a free 5-day email course that's going to take you step by step and show you how to increase your email revenue by up to 400% in the first 30 days, increase paid ad profitability so you can scale faster, and achieve 30 to 50% of your total revenue from email every single month. And so what I wanted to do here is just go through day one of this 5-day email series and show you what's in here just to give you a preview here. So this first day one is all about your email flows. So what we're going to do here is I'm not going to read the email line by line, but I want to show you what's in here. So if you go in here, we're going to break down the 6 essential flows that you have to have if you want to boost sales. These are the flows that every e-commerce brand that we work with, these are the flows that we want to get built out first, and we're paying the most attention to optimizing these flows over time. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the flows you need to have, give you some examples of those emails, tell you why you want to have these, and give you some little details about what to do to maximize performance from these flows. So if we go through here, the first one is the welcome series for non-buyers. This is what's triggered whenever someone opts into your email list for the first time and they haven't made a purchase yet. So this is going to be the email flow that introduces that potential customer to your brand and to your products and is going to incentivize them to make their first purchase. So we've got an example here you can check out. And then the next flow would be the browse abandonment flow. And this flow is triggered whenever someone views a product on your website, but they don't even add it to cart yet. So they haven't even gotten that far in the sales process. And so what this email is going to do is going to remind them of the product that they viewed and encourage them to go back and then add it to their cart. And you can set up incentives in this email and or these series of emails to do that, or you can just use creative copywriting and not rely on a discount to get them to go back. And also, by the way, this is a flow that a lot of brands don't even know about and don't have. So if you don't have this one, this is one of the highest revenue producing flows that we create for clients. So you definitely want to have the browse abandonment flow. The next flow is the abandoned cart flow. And so this one, when most people say abandoned cart, what they're really talking about is the abandoned checkout flow. A true abandoned cart flow is whenever someone adds a product to their cart, but they don't start the checkout process yet. So you definitely want to have this one in place because, again, most brands will at least have the abandoned checkout flow and they're just calling it the abandoned cart, and they don't realize that you can have 2 separate flows. So one for whenever they abandon the cart and one for whenever they've started the checkout process but they don't complete it. And again, both of these 2 flows are very high revenue producing flows, so you want to have both of them here. So we've got an example of this one, and then we've got a quick breakdown of the abandoned checkout flow as well, including some tips as far as what kind of content to include in here. And with these abandonment flows, it's really important to have things. You have to consider the person is very interested in buying, but you want to nudge them over the edge and get them across the finish line. So this is where having things like reviews, guarantees, UGC, answering any questions they might have. These are all really useful things that help make it easy for people to make a buying decision. And then the 5th one is the post-purchase flow. So this is the flow that people will get after they make a purchase. And we recommend customizing this for someone who is the first-time buyer and then also someone who is a repeat buyer. And in this flow, you want to just really reaffirm their decision to buy. You want to provide any kind of information they need to have a good unboxing experience. So if there's anything they need to know about unboxing, any instructions to help them use the product, any common questions or issues that people have when they first get the product, you want to give them that information right away so that way they already know all of that before they receive it. So that way there's no hangups whenever they actually get the product and they have a good first impression of their purchase. And then also in this flow, you want to do upselling and cross-selling and get people to make repeat purchases over time. And in flow number 6 is the customer win-back flow. This is triggered whenever someone makes a purchase, but then they don't make a purchase again after a certain period of time. And the time that you choose is going to depend on what makes sense for your product. So if you have a supplement brand and you're selling a 30-day supply of supplements, then it might make sense to follow back up with them, around 45 to 60 days after that purchase. Whereas if you have products that people just aren't logically going to buy as often, then you might want that delay to be 90 days or more from their previous purchase to when they would go into the customer win-back flow. And there's also some more details here about when to add discounts in these flows. And then we've got a whole section about how to start building these email flows in Klaviyo. So first you want to choose which flow you want to prioritize of the list here, and really we've got it listed out in order. I would say just go through the order in which they're listed in here, but if you just aren't sure where to start, definitely start with the welcome series, because if you don't have that, that's going to be the lowest hanging fruit for getting more revenue from your traffic. Then as you're creating these flows, you want to identify and understand where your customer is at in their buying journey. So think about the context for behind the email. So where are they at in the sales process, and what information do they need at this stage to help them make a buying decision? You want to think through that before you do any of the copywriting for these emails. And then you also need to get the flow set up in Klaviyo. So we've got some screenshots here showing you where to go in Klaviyo. All of these flows that we've listed here, they already have ready to use templates built out in Klaviyo that have all the dynamic links and boxes set up for you to attach to the cart. So if they viewed a product, if they added the product to cart, whatever the case is, they've already got everything pre-built in Klaviyo to set those parts up. Now there are going to be some times when you might have to change a setting on your website or add a little piece of code to your website to get that flow activated, but there's plenty of tutorials on Klaviyo's website to do that. It's super easy. In fact, I've got a bunch of videos about all of that stuff on my YouTube channel as well. And then from there, you want to add your copy, your designs, you want to add all the content, get the email template built out, and incorporate an incentive if it makes sense. So we don't think you should have a discount in every email that goes out. But in these core flows here, where these are going to be the flows that drive the most revenue, it definitely makes sense to have some incentives in there. And it doesn't mean they have to get it right away, but it could be where the further down in the flow that they go, you surprise them with some sort of discount, or maybe the offer that you are presenting to them can change over time based on actions they take. And then from there, you get it set up. It's just going to run automatically 24/7. It's just going to trigger to people based on whenever they take certain actions. And from there, you want to continue to do A/B testing so that way you can improve the performance of this flow over time. So we've got some information here about setting up those A/B tests in Klaviyo for each of these emails. And I also have a free resource as part of this course that you will get later in the course, where it's the actual spreadsheet and document that we use, the whole process we use to track all of the A/B testing for our clients. It makes it super easy to stay organized with all of your different A/B tests and to have a track record of everything you've tested in the past. So that way you make sure you're not repeating the same things, but also so you can continue to learn from the previous tests that you've done to continually improve the performance of these flows. So that's pretty much it for this for this email, going through all of the flows. And then down here, it gives you a preview of what the next step would be. So over the course of the 4 days following this, then you're going to get even more emails going into detail about the campaigns, using segmentation, about email deliverability, about A/B testing, and everything else that you need to know to have a profitable email sales channel. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to get access to this free course, then just click the link below in the description of this video, and you'll go to a landing page where you can just sign up and you'll get this for free.